You already know this person is wrong for you. You have known it for months, maybe years, and you are still there. Not because you are weak, because your brain has been chemically rewired to need what is hurting you. This video will tell you exactly what is happening in your neurology right now that makes leaving feel impossible, and the 5 steps that begin to reverse it. Watch every second. The reason you are still there is in here.
Reason 1. Intermittent reinforcement has rewired your reward system. The science. Intermittent reinforcement, unpredictable alternation between reward and withdrawal, produces stronger psychological attachment than consistent reward. This is not a theory. It is the foundational principle behind slot machines, social media likes, and the behavioral pattern of every emotionally unavailable person you have ever been unable to leave. The neurology. When reward is unpredictable, the dopamine system does not reduce, it amplifies. The brain increases its focus on obtaining the reward precisely because it cannot predict when it will come. The pain between rewards is not a deterrent, it is the mechanism that makes the next reward feel more valuable than it actually is. The break. 1. Name the pattern explicitly. Identify the specific cycle of warmth and withdrawal you have been experiencing and write it down as a behavioral sequence, not an emotional experience. 2. Understand that the intensity of your attachment is in direct proportion to the unpredictability of the reinforcement, not to the actual value of what you are attached to. 3. Remove the variable reward by establishing a consistent behavioral expectation. If the expectation is consistently not met, the data is complete. Reason 2. Trauma bonding has replaced genuine connection. The science. Trauma bonding, the psychological attachment formed through cycles of abuse, crisis, and reconciliation, activates the same neurochemical systems as genuine intimacy. The brain cannot distinguish between the chemistry of real love and the chemistry of traumatic attachment. Both feel identical from the inside. The neurology. Crisis followed by relief produces cortisol, followed by oxytocin, the attachment hormone. This sequence, repeated, creates a bond that is physiologically indistinguishable from healthy attachment, but is structurally based on threat and rescue rather than genuine safety and care. The break. 1. Ask one diagnostic question. Does this person make your life more stable or less stable over time? Strip away the peak moments and evaluate the baseline. 2. Distinguish between the relief you feel when the conflict ends and the safety you would feel if the conflict never happened. These are not the same state. 3. Seek environments that produce calm, consistent positive feeling, not intensity, and allow your nervous system to recalibrate what connection actually feels like. Reason 3. Sunk cost fallacy is holding you hostage. The science. The sunk cost fallacy, the tendency to continue an investment because of what has already been spent, regardless of future return, is not a logical error. It is a neurological bias built into human decision-making to prevent resource waste. In relationships, it manifests as, I have invested too much to leave now. The neurology. The same brain region that processes financial loss processes relational loss, and both activate threat responses designed to prevent further loss. Leaving feels like losing everything you have already given. Staying feels like preserving the possibility of return. Neither feeling is an accurate assessment of the actual situation. The break. 1. Separate what you have already spent from what the future will actually contain. Past investment does not change future trajectory. 2.
Ask the only relevant forward-looking question. If I knew at the start what I know now, would I begin this again today? 3. If the answer is no, the remaining decision is not about loss. It is about how much more you are willing to add to an investment that has already returned its verdict.
Reason 4. Your identity has merged with the relationship. The science. Identity fusion, the psychological state in which the relationship or person has become so central to self-concept that leaving feels like self-destruction, is one of the most powerful attachment mechanisms that exists. The threat is not losing them. The threat is losing who you believe yourself to be without them. The neurology. The brain processes threats to identity using the same neural pathways as physical threats to survival. Dissolving an identity-fused attachment feels neurologically equivalent to a threat to your physical existence, which is why leaving sometimes feels disproportionately like dying.
The break. 1. Identify one version of yourself that existed before this relationship and still exists independently of it. A skill, a value, a way of being that belongs to you alone. 2. Invest time and energy in that version of yourself daily, not to replace the relationship, but to rebuild the evidence that you exist outside it. 3. Understand that rebuilding independent identity is the prerequisite for leaving, not the consequence of it.
Reason 5. Fear of the unknown is more painful than the known pain. The science. Loss aversion, the cognitive bias that makes losses feel approximately twice as powerful as equivalent gains, means that the certain pain of staying consistently feels less threatening than the uncertain pain of leaving. You are not choosing the situation, you are choosing the devil you know. The neurology. The brain's threat detection system responds more strongly to uncertainty than to known negative outcomes. This is why people stay in situations they know are wrong. The certainty of the current pain is neurologically less threatening than the uncertainty of the pain that might come after it.
The break. 1. Name the specific fears about life after leaving. Concrete specific fears, not general dread. 2. For each fear, identify one person in your life or one case you have observed where someone left this kind of situation and built something better. 3. Understand that the unknown after leaving is not more dangerous than the known situation you are currently in. It only feels that way because uncertainty activates threat systems that familiarity, however painful, does not.
You are not weak for staying. You are neurologically responding to a system that was designed, intentionally or not, to make leaving feel impossible. Knowing the system is the first move. The next move is yours.